Hello and welcome to another lesson from Level Up Mathematics. In today's lesson, we will be reviewing how to solve one-step equations. Before we do, let's look at a definition. So when we're solving an equation, we're trying to find the solution. But what exactly is the solution to an equation? So a solution is the value of the variable that makes the equation a true statement. So in example 1, it says use substitution to determine if each of the following values is a solution of the given equation. So our equation is 3x minus 6 is equal to negative 15. And they want to know, is x equals negative 3 a solution? So to determine if it is a solution, you write down the equation, but you replace the x with a parenthesis. So instead of 3x minus 6, you put 3 parenthesis minus 6. Then you plug in the value that they give you, and then you evaluate that. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 9 minus 6 is negative 9 plus negative 6. Add that together and you get negative 15. So negative 15 is equal to negative 15. So x equals negative 3 is said to be a solution because it made the equation true. In part B, we have 1/2 x plus 22 is equal to 20. And they want to know, is negative 12 a solution? So I'll rewrite the equation and I'll replace the x with parentheses. So 1/2 parenthesis plus 22, does that equal 20? So I'll plug in the negative 12 and evaluate. So 1/2 of negative 12 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 22 is positive 16. So 16 does not equal 20. So negative 12 cannot be the solution to that equation. All right, problem C. We have 4/3 x minus 8 equals 20. And they want to know, is 21 a solution to the equation? In other words, when I plug in 21, will it give me a true statement? So I'll write the equation again. I'll replace the x with parentheses. And then I'll plug in the value that they gave me, which is 21. So 3 goes into 21 7 times. 4 times 7 is 28 minus 8 equals 20. Then 28 minus 8 is 20. So 20 equals 20. Therefore, 21 is a solution to the equation. Problem D, 5x minus 2 equals 18. And they want to know, is 4 a solution? Pause the video and try this problem on your own. When you're done, press play to check your solution. All right, welcome back. So I wrote down my equation and replaced the x with parentheses. Then I plugged in a 4. So 5 times 4 is 20 minus 2. And 20 minus 2 is 18. And 18 does equal 18. So I know 4 was a solution. All right, problem E. 4 times the quantity, m plus 2, is equal to 20. Is m equal 3 a solution? So 4, parenthesis, plug in a 3, plus 2, does that equal 20? Well, this would be 4 times 3 plus 2 is 5. So 20 is equal to 20. So therefore, 3 is a solution. All right, pause the video and try problem F on your own. When you're finished, press play and check your solution. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. 15 minus 1/2, parenthesis, negative 12. And we want to know, does that equal 21? So this would be 15 minus 1/2 of negative 12 is negative 6. 15 minus negative 6 is the same thing as 15 plus positive 6. And 15 plus 6 is 21. So this was a solution. If you got any part of that problem wrong, please pause the video and make your corrections. If you got it right, let's move on to example 2. So solving equations involves finding the value or values that make the equation true. Last year, you worked on solving equations that involved one step. Let's review those real quick. So in example 2, we're going to solve each of the following one-step equations by reversing what has been done to the variable. So in problem A, we have negative 7 times x equals negative 45.5. So the opposite of times is divide. So we will divide both sides by negative 7. So negative 7 divided by negative 7 would give me 1x equals, and negative 45.5 divided by negative 7. Well, I know a negative divided by a negative is positive, so I'm just going to divide 7 into 45.5. So 7 goes into 45 6 times. That's 42. That leaves me 35. 7 goes into 35 5 times. So 1x would equal 6.5. And usually we do not put the 1 in front of the x. 6.5 is our solution. All right, now in problem B, we have negative 12 is equal to n minus 2. Now, I prefer the variable to be on the left side, so I'm going to rewrite this one as n minus 2 equals negative 12. All right, so I have n minus 2 equals negative 12. So the opposite of minus 2 is add 2. So negative 2 plus 2 would zero out, leaving me n on this side. And negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. Problem C, x divided by 2 is equal to negative 8. So the opposite of divide by 2 is to multiply by 2. So I'm going to multiply this equation, both sides, by 2. And when I do that on this side, this 2 will cancel with this 2, leaving me x. And 2 times negative 8 would give me negative 16. All right, problem D. Negative 2 plus r is equal to negative 6.5. Well, the opposite of negative 2 is plus 2. So I will add 2 to both sides. This will zero out, and I'm left with r equals negative 6.5 plus 2. The signs are different, so we'll subtract to get negative 4.5. All right, problem E. Pause the video and try problem E on your own. When you're done, press play and check your solution. All right, welcome back. The opposite of plus 10 was minus 10. So the 10s would zero out, leaving me m on the left side. And negative 4 minus 10 is the same thing as negative 4 plus negative 10, which is negative 14. All right, in problem F, we have 2/5 x is equal to negative 20. When our coefficient is a fraction, we can multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 2 over 5 is 5 over 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So 5 would cancel with 5, 2 would cancel with 2, and that would leave me x on this side. Over here, 2 goes into negative 20, negative 10 times, and 5 times negative 10 is negative 50. And that concludes today's lesson, Solving One-Step Equation Review.